The top 10 richest real estate investors. It's no secret that real estate can be a very profitable business. Buying, selling, and developing land has made the upcoming people on our list a massive fortune. So without further ado, let's take a look at the top 10 richest real estate investors and developers in the world. Also, be sure to stick around until the very end, where we'll give you the top 3 runner-ups, including the richest real estate tycoon in Australia. Now, on to the countdown. Number 10. Joseph Lau, $13.6 billion. Yes, the lowest person on our list starts at the $13 billion mark. Joseph Lau is the former chairman and property developer of Chinese estates. Lau was sentenced to 5 years in prison by a Macau court for bribery and money laundering in 2014. However, he can't be extradited to Macau and hasn't spent a day in jail. He is the 8th richest person in Hong Kong, and the bulk of his massive fortune is derived from prime real estate holdings in Hong Kong. He became a billionaire in 2006, and his brother Thomas is also a billionaire. I bet they have some fancy family dinners. Anyway, just how does Joseph spend his money? Well, he's an avid art collector, and he owns pieces from Warhol and Gauguin that are at least $1 billion. You heard that right, $1 billion on art alone. And that's not all. He purchased a 12-carat blue diamond for a record-breaking $49 million in November 2015. Number 9. Kwang Soo-hing, $14.7 billion. Kwang has been the widow of the co-founder of Sun Hung Kai Properties since 1990. Her late husband co-founded the company in 1958. It went public in 1972, and today it's one of Hong Kong's largest developers. She served as the company's chairman from 2008 to 2011 after her eldest son, Walter, was ousted in a feud with Thomas and Raymond, her other 2 sons. To this day, she remains the biggest shareholder in the company. She is 91 and is number 9 on Forbes' Hong Kong's richest list of 2021. Number 8. Huang Jialin, $14.8 billion. Huang served in the Chinese military from 1970 to 1986 before turning around a government real estate venture and then going into business himself in 1989. Huang is a part of the Dalian Wanda Group, which has investments in finance, movie theaters, and real estate. The Dalian Wanda Group is one of the world's biggest commercial real estate developers with more than 260 plazas in China. Huang recently sold his Chinese hotel and tourism portfolio for $9 billion back in 2017. The billionaire also sold a part of his stake in U.S. movie theater chain AMC. In addition to that, in 2018, he sold a stake in the Spanish soccer club Atlético de Madrid. He currently owns the U.S. film studio Legendary Entertainment and operates one of China's largest movie theater chains. He was ranked at number 30 on the Forbes China Rich list in 2020. Number 7. Donald Bren, $15.3 billion. Here we have America's richest real estate tycoon. His Irvine company owns an astonishing 115 million square feet of real estate, primarily in Southern California. Bren's empire includes 125 apartment complexes and 550 office buildings. Not only that, but the company also owns and manages numerous hotels, marinas, golf courses, and shopping centers. He also owns a 97% stake in Manhattan's MetLife building. The Irvine Company started out as a cattle ranch owning a whopping 120,000 acres. In the late 70s and early 80s, Bren bought over the shares of the Irvine Company from the Irvine family. From there, he started developing the real estate into suburban, master-planned communities throughout central and southern Orange County. He also started residential projects in Santa Monica, Silicon Valley, and San Diego County. Donald Bren is commonly credited for making Orange County what it is today. And Bren knows how to give back. He has gifted more than 57,000 acres in Southern California to be preserved as open space and parklands. Number 6. Zuo Hui, $15.5 billion. Zuo is the chairman of HomeLink, China's largest real estate brokerage firm. Sunac Real Estate, a Chinese firm, bought 6% of HomeLink for $388 million in January 2017. Gaming giant Tencent and agricultural conglomerate New Hope Group are also investors in HomeLink. He was number 15 on Forbes' China's Rich list in 2020, and he resides in Beijing, China. Number 5. Peter Wu, $18 billion. Peter was chairman of property developer Wheelock & Co. and its main subsidiary, Wharf Holdings. However, he ended up stepping down in 2015. His son Douglas took his place and now chairs Wheelock and took the company private in 2020. In addition to property, Wheelock and Wharf control important telecom, port, and retail assets, including luxury department store chain Lane Crawford. Peter has diversified interests reflected in his businesses. However, most of his focus has been in real estate development in Hong Kong, China, and Singapore. He's number 7 on Forbes' Hong Kong Richest list in 2021 and number 104 on the Forbes Billionaires list. Number 4. Wu Yanjun, $18.3 billion. Wu is the co-founder and chairperson of a major Hong Kong real estate developer, Longfor Properties. She and her ex-husband founded Longfor together in 1993, but divorced in 2012, and he no longer has a role in the company. The enterprise grew rapidly back in 1993, expanding from her home in Chongqing to include major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. Wu got her degree in engineering and worked as a journalist before getting involved in the real estate business. As of 2017, 300 million people have visited Longfor's shopping malls. She is 57 and is number 100 on the Forbes Billionaires list of 2021. Number 3. Hui Kaiyan, $27.7 billion. Hui worked as a technician in a steel factory for 10 years after he graduated college. Later, he started the Evergrande Group in 1996. Today, Hui is the chairman of the group, and Evergrande is one of China's biggest real estate developers. The company went public in 2009 and has over 800 projects in more than 280 cities. Most of the Evergrande's projects are located in China. However, it has expanded overseas to other countries like Australia. One of the group's major projects under construction right now is the Ocean Flower Island. It's located on the island of Hainan. It's an artificial archipelago with 3 independent islets and a total area of 940 acres. The project is reportedly costing around $24 billion and will feature a marine park, hotels, music and opera houses, shopping centers, 40 kilometers of coastline, residential housing, and its own commercial streets. Number 2. Hyang Huiyan, $29.6 billion. Hyang owns 57% of real estate developer Country Garden Holdings. The stake was largely transferred to her by her father in 2007. That's not to say that Hyang herself hasn't played a part in Country Garden's success. She actually accompanied her father to board meetings as a teenager. Country Garden Holdings is famous for its entire township development in China, Malaysia, and Australia. One of its more famous projects is Forest City, a mega development in the southern tip of Malaysia's Iskandar special region, which will cost $100 billion to complete. Forest City will be a smart city and is built on reclaimed land. At the young age of 38, she is the richest woman in Asia. Before we move on to number 1, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell. That way you're notified when we post a new video. Now on to the richest real estate tycoon in the world. Number 1. Li Shaoqi, $31.7 billion. This real estate tycoon co-founded property developer Sun Hung Kai. He also started Henderson Land Development in 1976, which now makes up the bulk of his wealth. Henderson Land Development has stake holdings in various classes and types of properties, hotels, restaurants, and internet services. A significant building developed by Henderson is the International Commerce Center, co-developed by SHK Properties. This building is the 12th tallest building in the world by height and the 9th tallest building by number of floors. In addition to that, Li has also made substantial profits from investing in China stocks. In 2019, he stepped down as chairman of Henderson Land, and his sons, Martin and Peter, stepped in as co-chairman. And just how does this mega billionaire spend his money? Well, over the years, he donated more than $400 million to education. Li really did climb his way up the ladder of success. When he was a child, he grew up in a poor family that could only afford to eat meat or fish twice a month. What a true success story. Here's an interesting quote we found from Li. He said, "When I was young, business came first, then wealth, then health, and finally family. Now it's health first, then family, then my business, and lastly, wealth. What do you think of Lee's quote? Comment down below and let us know. Now, as promised, it's time for our top 3 runner-ups, including the richest real estate mogul in Australia. First, we have Robert and Philip Ng, $13.3 billion. These two brothers control Far East Organization, which is Singapore's largest private landlord and property developer. The company was founded by their father in 1934. The Hong Kong branch, called Sino Group, is overseen by older sibling Robert and his son Daryl, while Philip oversees the Singapore side of things. The brothers are ranked at number 5 on Forbes Singapore's 50 Richest list of 2020. Next on our runner-up list, we have Alexander Auto, $11.8 billion. Alexander owns a stake in the Auto Group and is the majority shareholder. He is also CEO of ECE Group, which is a commercial real estate firm focused on shopping centers. The Auto Group has revenues exceeding $15 billion and has more than 40 companies in real estate, financial services, and retail, including Crate & Barrel. And lastly on our list of runner-ups and the richest real estate tycoon in Australia, we have Harry Triguboff, $11.2 billion. Harry is one of Australia's richest people. In fact, he is the second richest person in Australia. He was the child of Russian parents and was born in China, but came to Australia as a teenager. He found success in real estate by providing higher density living options in Sydney. The city had originally been mostly freestanding homes until Harry came along. He was one of Australia's first developers to see the potential for apartment living, while everyone else focused on single-family homes. He has been nicknamed High Rise Harry because he has put up more than 75,000 apartments. The ever-expanding Sydney market continues to drive up his already massive fortune. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It really does help out the video and we appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. That way you're notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.